Hey family, and welcome to guided meditation activation. These have been really nice gifts that I've been offering myself almost daily now, and I'm just answering the calling to share them, to start recording them, and see how they support other people. And as the world continues to change, and as we are all undergoing similar difficulties, similar um, releases under the stress of a pandemic, under stress of a collective change that really connects us all. We're all using very similar medicine. We're all in need of very similar healing, comfort, and um, yeah, I just invite you to give a transmission or an activation a try as a way to just expand your own energy, expedite your healing process, and to help you with any kind of densities that are going on in the body. So, for receiving transmissions, my favorite way to do it is actually laying down in a position where the body can be completely relaxed, where every muscle can just really let go. You can also choose to do the meditation sitting up with the hips supported, the hips lifted, maybe sitting on a cushion or a block if your hips are tight, just so that the knees can rest comfortably, connecting with the floor. Whatever position you choose, just really take your time now to get comfortable. If you're lying down, you can lift the legs up, put a pillow underneath the knees, and this will help to support and soften the muscles of the abdomen so that you can breathe more deeply and more freely with less effort. Just make sure everything's just right. Maybe softening the lighting of the room. I don't encourage any strong scents right now. Maybe just letting the air be clear and still, as fresh as possible. And just soften deeply into the space. Take a deep breath in and let it out. And just keep breathing a few more times, almost like you're really trying to force a yawn out of you. Taking deep breaths in, stretching out the face. And just letting any sound come out that wishes to come out. Yawning is extremely good for the nervous system, for relaxing the muscles of the face, the chest, the lungs, the upper respiratory system. Try to yawn once more. So, no matter your posture, just bring your fingertips to the top of the head and start tapping gently at the crown, tapping all around, stopping at any point that feels good. Just a way to get us out of our minds and back into our body. Our minds have been super active lately. There's a lot of healing going on in the collective consciousness, lots of inner child work, and that kind of causes our favorite defense mechanisms to act up. And for a lot of us, that means overthinking, overuse of the mind. It causes us to feel really tired and worn down, burnt out, sensitive. It makes it difficult for us to hear and see things clearly. So we're just calling back the balance of our own energy into the body, into a place that's able to hold the energy more comfortably, in a more sustainable way. So continue to tap down the face. Keep breathing nice and deeply. It doesn't need to be rhythmic, it doesn't need to be forced, but just notice if there's any opportunity for you to just sigh, release, and let go a little bit more deeply, that you're leaning into that. tapping the neck, the throat, the upper chest. We'll spend a little bit extra time tapping through the chest and the tender points above the armpits, the breastplate, the ribs. Again, in this area, if you feel any tender points, any points that are really loving the tapping sensation, you can return your hands there and just hover for a bit. Maybe staying until you feel another yawn coming on. Just preparing the body, lowering the hands more now. Spending some time taking some special attention to the diaphragm, lower rib cage, lower lungs, place where the ribs meets the soft cavity of the stomach, the abdomen. Find a tender point. Keep tapping there. Take a deep breath in. And let it out. And go lower now. Just giving a nice gentle tap through the abdomen, the sides of the body, and the pelvic cavity, maybe the womb space, if you have a womb. Let's see. Take a little extra time to tap at the hip flexors. Those are the muscles of the thighs that connect with just below the hip bones. Just tapping that out area. Feel those vibrations. Good. And then just give your legs a light tap. Taking a moment to just tap gently at the soles of the feet, especially where the arches are. Awakening our liver meridian, gallbladder meridian that travels through this point. Good, and then tap back up the body very quickly, all the way up to the head, and just land on the third eye with 2 fingers. Nice and gentle. Let the tapping become softer and softer. And eventually letting your hand drop to your side to a comfortable, relaxed position. And be in stillness. Just observe how the body feels differently from how we started. Notice the expansive feeling, the calm, the quiet. If you feel any gurgling in the stomach, that's a good sign that the body shifted into the parasympathetic nervous system, a place of restoration and healing. Just notice the breath, not controlling it, just observing how it naturally moves, appreciating the lack of rhythm. Maybe if it's shallow or deep, just appreciating it as it is. Do a light scan of the body. See if there's any point in the body that there feels like there's a little cramp or a little tension. That's just a soft release from the energetic field. And you can just tap there very gently. You might feel something in the back of the neck, bottom of the rib cage. The energy around us is shifting now. In the past, when you wanted to release densities, when you wanted to heal old wounds, old patterning from childhood, we had to like sit and focus on it and study it and understand it, and that's not so necessary anymore. So if you feel these jumps of pain, these little electric shocks, if you will, coming up, just know that that's just old programming clearing. That's been wanting to clear, that's been waiting to clear, and just let it go. There's no fear anymore that we're going to repeat the patterns that we're letting go of, because once it's gone, it's gone. Good. Come back to stillness again and just observe. We'll say a prayer now to activate the Akasha container. It's just a safe way to play and explore the energies and to call in more carefully and more precisely any type of healing that's right for people that are listening to this recording. When we start to work with high frequency energy, we start to transcend time and space. So even if you listen to this recording a few years from now, it's still potent, it's still effective. And so I'll label this space as Earthbound Intuitive. And so we do acknowledge the forces of light, asking for guidance, courage, and direction to know the truth as it is revealed for our highest good and the highest good of everyone connected to us. Help me to know Earthbound Intuitive in the light of the Akashic Records, to see Earthbound Intuitive through the eyes of the Lords of the Records, and enable me to share the wisdom and compassion that the masters, teachers, and loved ones of Earthbound Intuitive have for it. And the records are now open. It's interesting, drawing on some imagery that came up in a client session earlier. It's kind of acknowledging how similar we all are right now with our wounds, with our healing. We're all just human at the end of the day. How how different can we really be? My attention is being drawn down to a tender spot where the rib cage connects to the abdomen, the gut, on the left side, just to the left of where the stomach would be. Feel free to massage this point if you feel that tension there. You can also just press the heel of your palm into the abdomen and make circles in a clockwise motion. Pushing down towards left hip, across towards right hip, and then back up towards right rib cage, across to left. And keep going in this little circle, releasing any tension there. And I'm being taken to this image. You're lying down on a small ship, small wooden ship. It feels so sturdy and stable. We're floating in this small pond. And there's no wind. So the ship is just barely rocking ever so gently as you're lying down. And the rocking just soothes you completely into a state of surrender. Almost a dreamlike state. And you know you'll never wander too far out of a place of comfort while on the ship. Always safe, always at home. It's almost like you're becoming the ship, you know, the way the ship feels on the water, the way it senses the cool lapping of the waves around you. It becomes a part of you. These sensations, this understanding, also the knowing of where you are on this pond. And then the pond starts to change its form a little bit. And you see this little, it looks almost like a canal, just big enough for the ship to come through. And looking beyond the canal, you see how it connects with the ocean. And there's just a sunset just beyond the horizon. It's almost blinding you. It's so bright, it's so vibrant. And you're being called to head down this canal in this out-of-body experience. Now looking at the ship as it glides away from you and into the open water, slowly, gradually. And it's happening so smoothly. It's like as if there's no change at all, nothing for the mind to attach to, nothing to get worked up about. There's something really interesting happening here with the letting go of control. But while we're letting go of control, we also feel as if we're stepping into this power, the true sense of the word of power. A power that we didn't feel was tangible or palpable. And it's just among us now. Its presence very similar to the feeling of the setting sun on your skin. I'm feeling a little tension arising between the shoulders. When you inhale, imagine that your breath is almost like scraping along the back of the throat, pushing down through the shoulders, just loosening up that tension there. And letting it all out with a big exhale. Fully receiving this attunement to surrender. Can we please be shown more clearly the embodiment of surrender? And right away there becomes this tension above the third eye. Feels like a buildup of pressure, and then it feels like a cork being removed from a champagne bottle, just this popping sensation and this outpouring of energy. But it doesn't feel like we're losing anything. It feels like there's just this free flow. Energy entering, energy exiting. There's no separation now between us and the energetics around us. We're more freely receiving information and healing and transmissions, and more freely letting go of things that no longer serve us. Also letting go of things that do serve us, you know, because if it's truly ours, if it's truly our divine right, then it will come back. Feeling the sensation of champagne bubbles washing over the skin, and this energy continues to just awaken. Connecting deeply with the frequency of the color of the champagne. This energizing activation, restoring ourselves to our natural capacity to play and feel joy, to allow healing and repairing to happen. And when we truly allow it, it's not tiring. It's uplifting, it's expansive. Bringing the awareness to the navel. And with an inhale, imagine you're pressing your navel away from you, out, ballooning up the belly. And exhaling, bring it back down. Almost like you're a baby sleeping and you just let your belly expand as far out as it can. And just one more time, inhaling deeply. Exhaling fully. Receiving a transmission of this deep fluorescent purple light. So vibrant, so active. An awakening of spiritual channels. There's a nice release happening in the large intestine now, feeling it just above the right hip. If you'd like, if you feel this tension, if you connect with the density there, you can press your fingers into this space and just give a nice little massage, a loving acknowledgement of the healing work that's being done. And from our intestines, we always release our fears, our worries that we don't belong to our tribe, our community, our family, our friend. That feeling of unconditional loneliness lives in our large intestines. And that need to do anything, to action anything in order to be loved, appreciated, celebrated. So in your own mind, as I bring up these words, these themes, see what images pop to your mind. Without holding on to it, just notice that it's interesting and let it go. Bring your hands to the abdomen. One hand over the navel, another hand over the upper abdomen. Just connecting with the breath. The breath can be similar to mine. You notice it's quite arrhythmic. Taking deep breaths randomly, letting them fall out of the mouth. Making sounds, moving the mouth around in weird shapes, just playing around with the feeling of the air leaving the body and entering. And your next inhale, squeezing, curling the toes under, squeezing the muscles of the feet, the calves, the legs, the glutes, the abdomen, shoulders, arms, throat, face, holding as long as it feels comfortable for you. And when you're ready, letting go, almost like a oozing, erupting volcano. Releasing all that excess heat now. Letting every muscle return to a relaxed state, relaxing even more deeply than before. Sinking into your mat, your bed, your cushion. Just melting into it all. And with the lungs, we can clear and purify almost any tough spots in the body. There's an invitation to clear the liver. So bring your awareness to where the liver is, just under the right rib cage, exposing itself slightly in the abdomen. It's like this triangle shape, with the thinner part of the triangle coming towards the midline of the body. You can even create a little triangle with your hands and place it over the right side of the ribs and just breathe into this area. When you breathe out, you can press your fingers in, almost scooping them under the ribs. Not pressing too hard, but just giving them a nice wiggle. And when we take in these deep breaths through the mouth, we're really cooling the body. There's been so much healing going on, so much burning up, this like incendiary process of burning all these old impurifications in the body. And it leaves our body feeling really hot, really overheated. It makes it difficult for our bodies to release the heat. And when this heat manifests, it comes in the form of disease. So for purifying the blood, purifying the liver, bringing our physical body into an expansive, ascended state that better matches the energetics of the work that we've been doing lately. It's so common when we give ourselves a form of self-care that our energetic and spiritual self ascends and expands much more quickly than our physical body is able to keep up with. So we're now ready and willing to receive any transmissions, light, love, and healing that will support our physical body in meeting and arriving to a point that better aligns with our spiritual and energetic selves. Allowing a healing to occur on the cellular level. You can feel almost like this hydration happening, the cells getting more expansive. Taking a better look at the 12-strand DNA, the double helix within every nucleus of every cell, just encapsulated in this golden light, glowing, vibrating, upgrading. So how can we better heal and support the upgrades that are taking place at this moment in time? Continue to relax, continue to soften. Just take any kind of urgency or need to feel like there's work being done or agency on your part to let this healing take place. The true nourishment of this healing comes from pure observation. The healing's happening. Your masters, your teachers, your loved ones, and your guides are making sure that it does. And all that can be done now is to relax into a state of observation, noticing any sensations, not only in the physical body through aches, little pains, little pings, maybe gurgles in the organs, but also feeling this rippling effect through the energetic field. If you're a little less familiar with your energetic self, it might come across as like a tingling sensation on the skin. See if you can expand that awareness outwards in all directions. 15 feet on any side of you, extending through the floor, the walls. Let these tingles just radiate outwards, healing you from the very core, from the very center, and out into all directions, supporting every neuron, every cell, every strand of DNA. Upgrading, healing, and attuning to this golden frequency. May we please be shown the embodiment of optimized 3D wellness. May we please be shown the embodiment of a quiet mind and ease, simplicity. Fully receiving this energetic transmission with every ripple, every sensation, every pulse being felt by the physical body. We say thank you. We give gratitude to the body for the work that it's done, and we give gratitude to the healing that's being offered to us at this time. With every breath, with every inhale, and every element, molecule of oxygen that enters the body, we attune ourselves, we upgrade, and we meet our spiritual selves with more intimacy, more acceptance, and more ease. Inviting ourselves to stay in this capacity, this state, more often in our days, in our lives, acknowledging that this expansive way of being is actually more authentic than how we might feel we need to be in order to interact with the world. But that's all illusion. That's all programming that tells us we need to be small or tells us we need to be less spiritual in order to be accepted and loved. You might feel it now. All the acceptance and love that you need is right here in this moment. It's your birthright to feel accepted and loved at all times. Maybe it's hard to find it always in the third dimension in our physical reality, but you'll feel it when you attune yourself to higher states of being. The presence of your divinity, of God, all around you at all times. It's yours. May we please deepen the embodiment we're feeling now of self-love and acceptance. There's just like an influx of colorful light coming into the body. The presence of some starseed energy. It feels reptilian, actually. This green energy. Soothing and implanting, working more intimately with our lower chakras, our more primal existence. And there's also this orange energy, orangish reddish. It's very 5D, sort of prismatic color. And I'm seeing a Merkaba as well, a 9-pointed star. It's this interesting technology that's being put to work in the chest, in the heart. You might find it's very easy to be still right now. Very easy to relax every muscle. You might find it's quite difficult to find any sensations of loneliness, loss, sadness, or fear. Those emotions, while beautiful, they're not so needed at this point in time in our healing. We've all been doing so much work. If you're listening to this recording and you're being called here because you've been doing so much work to expand your sense of self, to get rid of the things, the aspects, the programming that no longer serves you. And so now is the time to rest, to fortify, to celebrate. Again, not celebrating action, but to celebrate you, to celebrate your essence, to celebrate what you contribute just by being your most authentic version of yourself. Your essence. This is your essence. You can greet your essence and welcome it. I almost see it kind of manifesting as a younger version of you, any age that you choose, and you're scooping it up in your arms, saying hello, nice to meet you, nice to acknowledge you. The more time you spend with this purified understanding of your essence, the easier it is for you to find your compass when we return to the 3D, to find your line of travel, to find your path. And that's not to say that it will always make sense or that you'll have this perfectly planned roadmap, but that voice inside of you that tells you where to go and what to do in every instant will just be that much stronger. The essence always communicates, and your divine self always communicates through intuition, your intuitive voice. You can even take the time now to speak to this childlike manifestation of your essence and ask how it wishes to best communicate with you. Are there any codes or signals that she or he wishes for you to understand as a way to tune in? Is there any body posture that she's best received in, any time of day that she or he wishes to best communicate with you? Will she be sending sounds, images, sensations? Feel free to actively ask these questions out loud or in your mind with deep intention. How does my essence best want to connect with me, and what can I do to deepen this connection? Maybe you're not getting a clear answer, but your willingness your want, your desire to deep this connection and to indulge in the beauty and the reward of having a better sense of your intuition is being heard, and the programming is reaching you. You might not have the answer now, but the next time your intuition comes knocking at the door of your mind, it'll be a lot easier to hear it. It'll be a lot easier to answer, to open, to let it in. I am now fully ready and willing to release any programming or conditioning that causes me to prioritize the knowledge of the mind over the wisdom of the intuition, the wisdom of the essence. I'll say that one again. Feel free to say it. Repeat after me. I am now fully ready and willing to release any programming or conditioning that causes me to prioritize the intellect of the mind over the boundless wisdom of my intuition and my essence. I am now fully ready and willing to receive any attunements, transmissions, or information through every cell, every neuron, every strand of my DNA. Any transmissions or healing that will better connect me to my intuitive voice. I continue to receive these transmissions and healing now, and so it is, and so it is, and so it is. And I feel like you can continue to stay in this energy. It feels very floral. It feels like I'm almost being bathed in the energy of sunflowers. Stay here as long as feels comfortable for you. You can pause this recording now. And then whenever you're ready to release yourself from this beautiful transmission, you could just let it a deep inhale and exhale a sigh. Connecting yourself with the body again, slowly bringing your awareness back to a slightly smaller shell. Knowing that your energy continues to expand outside of it, you can wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe bending the knees or straightening them. Move as you like. You can release the hips. Maybe rocking knees from side to side. And then bring your arms up overhead and tighten the muscles of the body. Get the body nice and long, expanding the space between every rib. Hold the breath. And exhale, release. And before we come back fully to this reality, let's just bring our hand to our gut, to our navel. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Say thank you to yourself, to your guides, to your loved ones, to all that is, to all that already is. A deep appreciation for how everything is perfectly perfect in this moment. Thank you. And when you're feeling truly ready to release yourself from this transmission, you can end it with a sense of celebration. You can think about the feeling of getting a top score on Tetris or completing a really difficult assignment. Just that feeling that washes over you, like, yes, I did it. This is amazing. This is awesome. Maybe even the feeling of seeing somebody else accomplish their goals and dreams, feeling that sympathetic joy. It's always the perfect seal of completion for any type of spiritual work. And when you're ready, you can warm up your palms, get them fiery hot, and place them over your eyes. With your hands covering your eyes, you can open your eyes. Slowly just start to remove the hands, let the light come in. And come back to the world. Taking a moment to just notice how different things feel, to notice how different things look before the start of the activation. And this healing is complete. Thank you so much for joining me. Just take some time to ease back into your reality. What actually feels really soothing would be to take a dip in some cool water if the ocean is accessible to you now, to soak your feet, or to even listen to some really loud, happy music and kind of just have a little wiggle, a little dance for a song or two. I hope no matter where you are in the world or in your timeline, that everything is going really, really well for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was fun.